Many people think deboning chicken feet is difficult, time-consuming, and quite a hassle. But the surprising thing is that all you need is a piece of dental floss to do it. No complicated techniques, no special tools, just a simple trick that allows you to remove the bones much faster while keeping the chicken feet completely intact. The first time I learned about this method, I was genuinely amazed by how effective it was. Today, I'll show you every step in detail. Let's get started. First, cut off all the toenails from the chicken feet. Many people skip this step, but it is actually one of the key secrets to making chicken feet cleaner and tastier. The toenails are the part most likely to accumulate dirt and impurities. At the same time, removing the toenails allows any remaining blood trapped inside the chicken feet to drain out more easily during the cleaning process. If excess blood is not thoroughly removed, the chicken feet can develop a strong, unpleasant odor, and their flavor will be less appealing after cooking. Once the toenails have been removed, place all the chicken feet into a large bowl. Next, sprinkle a suitable amount of salt over them and rub thoroughly with your hands. Don't underestimate these tiny grains of salt. The coarse texture of salt acts as a natural cleanser, helping remove slime, dirt, and impurities from the surface of the chicken feet. Not only that, but salt also helps draw out any remaining blood, significantly reducing unwanted odors and making the chicken feet cleaner and whiter after cooking. After rubbing for a few minutes, gradually add clean water and rinse several times. You'll notice that the first few rinses produce cloudy water because it carries away blood and impurities that have just been removed. Continue changing the water and rinsing until the water runs completely clear. At that point, the chicken feet are truly clean. Drain them and place them into a pot. Add a few slices of fresh ginger and several scallions tied into a knot. This classic combination is widely used to remove unwanted odors from meat. The natural oils in ginger help neutralize the smell of the chicken feet, while the scallions add a fresh aroma that enhances the flavor from the very beginning. At this point, add 1 tablespoon of cooking wine. As it heats up, the wine helps carry away odor-causing compounds, making it even more effective at eliminating unwanted smells. Next, pour cold water into the pot. This is a detail that many people get wrong. When blanching chicken feet, always start with cold water rather than hot water. As the temperature gradually rises, excess blood and odor-causing compounds inside the chicken feet are slowly released. On the other hand, if you place the chicken feet directly into boiling water, the outer proteins will quickly contract and solidify. This traps the blood and odors inside, making it much harder to achieve clean, fresh-tasting chicken feet. Turn on the heat and allow the water to warm gradually. Before long, a large amount of foam will begin to appear on the surface. Don't worry. This is a sign that excess blood, coagulated proteins, and impurities are being released from the chicken feet. Use a spoon to skim off the foam regularly. The more thoroughly you remove it, the cleaner the chicken feet and the clearer the cooking liquid will be. Once the water comes to a boil, continue cooking for about 2 more minutes. Although this is a short amount of time, it is very important. It helps firm up the meat while slightly softening the tendons and joints. As a result, the deboning process later becomes much easier. After 2 minutes, remove the chicken feet immediately. Then, rinse them once more in warm water. At this stage, there may still be a few traces of foam or tiny impurities on the surface. Warm water helps wash away any remaining residue without causing the skin to contract suddenly. While rinsing, gently rub each chicken foot to ensure every part is completely clean. Finally, drain the chicken feet thoroughly. At this point, they are clean, odor-free, and ready for deboning. These seemingly simple steps are actually the secret to achieving beautifully white, flavorful, and appetizing chicken feet in the final dish. Arrange the chicken feet neatly on a clean plate and place them in the freezer for about 30 minutes. Many people don't realize that this is another important trick that makes deboning much easier. As the chicken feet chill, the skin and meat become slightly firmer, while the joints and connective tissues around the bones loosen. This allows the bones to separate more easily from the meat, without tearing the skin or damaging the shape. As a result, the bones can be removed easily without tearing the skin or damaging the meat, while the chicken feet remain plump, attractive, and perfectly intact. While the chicken feet are chilling, let's prepare the accompanying ingredients. First, take half an onion. Slice it into thin, even strips. Onion not only adds a refreshing crunch, but also helps balance the richness of the chicken skin, making the dish lighter and more enjoyable to eat. Then set it aside on a plate. Next, prepare a few cloves of garlic. Crush them gently and then finely mince them. When minced, garlic releases more of its natural oils, creating the rich aroma that gives this dish much of its distinctive flavor. Now prepare a few hot chili peppers. Slice them into evenly sized rings. The bright red color of the chilies not only makes the dish more visually appealing, but also adds a gentle heat that stimulates the appetite and makes the chicken feet even more irresistible. Place the chilies and garlic onto a plate. Then take a fresh lime. Cut it into moderately thin slices. Be sure to remove all the seeds. This may seem like a small detail, but it is very important because lime seeds can release bitterness during marination and affect the final flavor of the dish. Place the prepared lime slices onto a plate. Finally, prepare a handful of fresh cilantro. Cut it into bite-sized pieces. The fresh, fragrant aroma of cilantro helps bring all the flavors together and adds an extra layer of freshness to the dish. At this point, all of the ingredients have been fully prepared. After chilling for 30 minutes, remove the chicken feet from the freezer. The meat should now be firm enough, not too soft and not too hard. This is the perfect stage for deboning. Now prepare a piece of dental floss. Few people would imagine that such a simple everyday item could make deboning chicken feet so much easier. First, use the pointed end of the dental floss pick to make a small cut along the back of the middle toe, extending down the main bone. The cut only needs to be deep enough to expose the bone. The neater and more precise the cut, the more beautiful and intact the chicken feet will remain after deboning. Repeat the same process with the remaining toes. Once all the cuts have been made, insert the tip of the dental floss pick between the meat and the bone. Gently slide it along the length of the bone. You'll notice that it can easily reach tiny spaces that are difficult to access with a knife or your fingers. As it moves, the floss gradually cuts through the connective tissue attached to the bone without tearing the meat. This is the secret to preserving as much meat as possible on the chicken feet. If you look closely, you'll notice that the back side of the chicken foot is attached very tightly to the bone. Meanwhile, the front side is separated by a thin layer of fat, making it much easier to work with. Therefore, focusing on separating the meat along the backside will make the deboning process much easier. Continue sliding the dental floss pick along both sides of the main bone. Little by little, the bone will separate from the surrounding meat. Once both sides have been loosened, the bone is almost completely detached from the chicken foot. At this point, simply pull gently with your hand, and the bone will slide right out. Even if you don't have long fingernails or professional experience, this can be done very easily. Start by removing the small bones from the toes. It's nice to know that we see each other all over the world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you can subscribe by clicking the subscribe button. It's great to see your support. Then, move on to the large central leg bone. Use your thumb to slide along the bone, separating any remaining meat and tendons attached to it. When you reach the final joint, gently separate the cartilage from the bone. The cartilage is wonderfully crunchy and delicious, so don't throw it away. Once all the skin and meat have been freed from the bone, press your thumb along the bone and gently bend it away. The entire bone will come out cleanly in one piece. Look at that. No special tools, no complicated techniques, just a simple piece of dental floss, and a task that many people find intimidating becomes surprisingly easy. The result is beautifully deboned chicken feet that are smooth, plump, and perfectly retain their natural shape. Most impressive of all, the bones come out almost completely clean. Hardly any meat is wasted. That's exactly why this simple little trick leaves so many people amazed the first time they see it. Continue the same process with the remaining chicken feet. You'll be surprised by how quickly the entire deboning process goes. In just about 10 minutes, you'll have a plate of perfectly deboned chicken feet that are clean, neat, and beautifully intact. Next, place all of the chicken feet into a large mixing bowl. Cut each chicken foot in half. Then add the sliced onion, lime slices, minced garlic, fresh chilies, and cilantro that you prepared earlier. The colorful combination of ingredients already looks incredibly appetizing, even before any seasoning is added. Now it's time to make the dressing. Add 1 tablespoon of light soy sauce. Add 1/2 tablespoon of dark soy sauce. Next, add 1 tablespoon of vinegar. Add 1 teaspoon of sesame oil for its distinctive nutty aroma. Then add 1 tablespoon of chili oil, which gives the dish a gentle heat and an attractive glossy appearance. Finally, add 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. The slight sweetness helps balance the acidity and spiciness, creating a more harmonious flavor profile. Mix everything thoroughly. Gently toss and massage the ingredients together so that every piece of chicken foot is evenly coated with the seasonings. As you mix, the lime juice, onion, cilantro, and seasonings gradually penetrate the meat. At this point, an irresistible aroma will begin to fill the air. Once everything is well combined, let the chicken feet marinate for about 2 hours. This resting time allows the flavors to fully penetrate the chicken feet, making the dish far more delicious than if it were eaten immediately. 2 hours later, the deboned chicken feet are ready to serve. Just looking at the plump, glossy chicken feet coated in flavorful seasonings is enough to make your mouth water. Where are you watching from? Please leave a comment to let me know. Pick up a piece and take a bite. The first thing you'll notice is the pleasantly chewy and slightly springy texture of the skin. With every bite, there's a satisfying crunch that makes the eating experience incredibly enjoyable. The tendons are tender, while still retaining their signature chewiness, and the more you chew, the more you appreciate the rich texture of the deboned chicken feet. The sweet, sour, salty, and spicy flavors blend together perfectly, making every bite absolutely addictive. This is the kind of dish that isn't overwhelmingly seasoned, yet somehow keeps you reaching for one more piece without even realizing it. Before you know it, the plate in front of you is almost completely empty. The video ends here. If you have any comments, please leave a comment below. If you find the video interesting, please give me a like. Don't forget to share it with your relatives and friends. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. Goodbye. See you in the next video.